Another quirky project by Billy 50 Designs. I will be using these two fabrics to make a pair of jeans. So it's basically just some quilting cotton, which I'll be using as the lining of the pockets. And I've got this beautiful stretch denim. It actually has a real, let me show you. It has like a lot of stretch in it. So that's going to be good to get over the big bum. Okay, I've never made a pair of jeans before, so I'm choosing to do one in stretch because that'll give me a little bit of ease with my pattern. So I'm using my own pattern that I've cut. So let's get going.
Are you crying?
No.
Are you crying? Are you crying?
Okay, I have no idea what I'm going to do, so I'll start with the coin pocket. Let's just fold this top over twice. Now, because I've never made them before, I'm a little unsure how long to make this little coin pocket, so I'll just trim the edge once I'm done. Okay, I'm just going to top stitch that across there. And now I'm just going to fold these edges in. Maybe I should fold, yeah, once. Remember to be trimming all my threads. Okay, now I'm just going to top stitch down each side of that as well. Okay, so I've got my pocket shield and my pocket lining. I'm just going to stitch this little coin pocket onto there, and then I'm going to serge the edges of the denim. I've serged the edge of that, so I'm just going to place that on top of there, and then I'm just going to stitch it down all the way around to hold it in place. So I've stitched that onto there. Now I'm taking the front of my jeans and I'm going to stitch along the outside edge of the pocket. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to flip that over, iron it in place, and then top stitch. Let's stitch that around the edge. Just going to flip this a little bit. Fold that over. Now, you want to fold it over. I just, got cotton there. Just roll it between my fingers like that to get that nice and flat. But then when I iron it, I want to make sure that I've got just a tiny bit, let me see if you can see, just a tiny bit of denim on this side so the lining isn't showing on the other side. There we go. Okay, now I'm just going to put 2 lines of top stitching around here. So that worked out lovely. Now I'm going to take the other half of my pocket, I'm going to lay it on top, and then I'm going to serge the edge, and then I'm just going to top stitch along here and here just to keep them in place. So there we have our pockets done. Aren't they cute? And now whenever I put my hand inside my pocket, I'm going to be able to see Mickey Mouse. Cute that? And now we're moving on with the fly. So of course we need a zipper, we need a fly facing and interface, and a fly shield. So I'm just going to fold that in half and whoop. Let's bring the mini ironing board in. I'm just going to fold that in half, give it a bit of an iron. And then I'm going to iron the interfacing on here. Now I'm going to take this over to the machine. I'm just going to put a row of stitching in there, and then I'm going to turn that out the right way and overlock all the way down there. And then I'm going to take my piece that's interfaced, and I'm going to overlock the curved edge. So we're just preparing all the pieces. Now we have all our pieces prepared, so that has been overlocked down the side there. And this one with the interfacing has been overlocked as well. So now we can move on to attaching this to the actual jeans. So we'll take this, and what we're going to do is we're literally just going to place that there, line that up and stitch 1/4 of an inch all the way along there. Okay, I've got that sewn on, so now I'm just going to snip just the tiniest bit here just to relieve that. It didn't even work. Let's see. That's better. And now I'm going to fold this over, iron it nice and flat. And then I'm going to top stitch all the way along here. Okay, that's done. I don't know if you can see it very well, but it's done. Okay, now we're going to open up our pants. Oh, I'm going to cut that away. And we are going to now install the zipper. And we're going to do that, so we're going to place that face down on here. Now my zipper is like just a tiny bit too long, but it's okay. I'm going to line up the edge with the top stitching. We have our zipper tape pinned onto the facing. So now we're just going to flip that open. And you've got to make sure that that zip is facing down. Facing down. And then I'm going to, using a zipper foot, I'm going to stitch this side of the zip, so the outer edge. So that's all in now. Now we do the top stitching on this side. Now I'm using a little template I've got here, and I'm just going to put that there. And then I'm going to use my chalk I'm going to mark out that line because I'm going to trace it with the sewing machine. Whoop. All right, I know where to go. Now, the only other thing I want to do is I want to take these two little tabs and I'm just going to base them out of the way while I do all of this, just to keep them out of the way. Okay. Now we're going to top stitch. There are so many steps to the fly. Now we're going to attach the fly shield. So see how the zip, that's the facing and there's the zip. So I'm taking the overlocked edge and I'm lining that up with the edge of the zip, and then I'm going to pick up just those two layers. So not the fly facing, and I'm going to tip it over. And now that they're all lined up, just going to make sure that's lined up nicely, and then I'm going to stitch up here. Just a straight stitch all the way up here. Okay, she's in. Now we'll take the other side and we're going to line this up. I'm going to double check that length is correct. All right, and then we're going to notch just where the bottom of that fly shield is. Right there. I'm going to make a small snip. And I'm going to fold this under and press it. Now everyone's been asking where I got my little mini ironing board, and honestly it's a chopping board from Kmart, and I just put some there you go, it's the oval footed serving board from Kmart, and then I just put some padding and then I just stapled the cover on. Pretty nifty, huh? All right, now to attach this piece to this piece, wind that under there, and now I'm going to just line that up. So I'm just going to cover that row of stitching, and I'm just going to put that in place, and I'm going to stitch all the way down to the bottom of the shield. We are getting there. All right, so we've got that in. Now we have to finish this little seam here. So all we're going to do is I'm just going to pull that so it's kind of straight. And then this one, I'm just going to light over. I'm not going to pull it, but I'm just going to straighten them up. And then I am going to tack them into place to make it easier. Just pop a pin there while I do that. So what it should look like is we're literally just putting one over the other, like that. Okay, and then we're going to start at the bottom edge, the closest side to the seam, and we're going to top stitch up to that second line there, across, and then back down. And the front is now finished. Pretty good job, huh? Okay, so we'll put them aside, and now we're going to work on the back. So we've got the yoke here. I'm just going to do a flat fold seam here, and I'm going to iron the pockets and sew them on as well. Okay, so I've ironed my pocket. Now I'm going to top stitch along here, and then I'm going to place my pocket here, and then I'm going to attach the pocket. So now I've got both the pockets on and I've got the yokes done. So now I'm just going to make a flat felled seam to join these two together here. Okay, now we've done the back, we're going to attach the front at the inseam. So all we're going to do, okay, we're just going to match them up, and I'm just going to do a row of stitching, and then I'm going to finish the edge with the serger. Now I've stitched together my front and back seams. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to press the seam towards the front of the pants. And then when that's done, I'm going to do a double row of top stitching all along the inside. The middle seam, crotch seam, inner leg seam, whatever you want to call it, is now done. So we can move on to the next step, which is to place our front and back together, and we are going to line up the sides and stitch them in place from top to bottom on both sides. We are actually getting somewhere now. So inside, outside legs are all sewed together. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to press this seam towards the back. So this is the side seam, match your hip and waist. I'm going to press it towards the back, and then I'm going to top stitch. Now I can't get all the way down because the sewing machine won't allow, but I'm going to top stitch from here down to here, which is the base of the pocket. So I'm going to top stitch the side of the jeans from where that waist is at the moment down to here, which is the bottom of the pocket. And then I'm just going to put a little stay stitch here, and I'm going to do that on both sides. Now I'm going to iron my seam towards the back. I'm just going to put a pin in there so I know where that is. Now, this is the other reason I use my tiny little ironing board, because I can put it inside the top of that pant leg to help me iron. Lay the seam towards the back. Let's find the bottom of that pocket and just put a pin in there. And now we're going to top stitch from here to here. Now we're moving on to the waistband, and what I've done here is I've just pinned the front and back together. The back has been interfaced, and I'm just going to stitch all the way along the top. So now we have sewn along the top edge. Now we're going to open that out and we're going to press the seams flat all the way along. And then we're going to turn it out the right way and press it again. Everybody has their own way of doing the waistband, but this is the way I do mine. So we've pressed our waistband open, and then what I'm doing is I took the side with the interfacing and I took it to the machine and I sewed a 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch from the seam, from the outside, just to put a row of stitching there. Now that row of stitching, so see all the way along the side with the interfacing, I've got a row of stitching. Now you'll see, because I did it, I made sure I was really slow and did it perfectly so it's even from the edge all the way around, because we're going to use that as a measurement marker. Now bring it back to the ironing board and fold up that edge till you see, let's see, fold up that edge until you see that line and then press it. So now you'll have one edge, of your waistband that's completed. Ish, sort of completed. Let's see. All right. And you'll notice all right, so now I've got the right sides facing. I'm using the edge that doesn't have the interfacing on it, and I've got that right side to right side on the back of the jeans. And now I'm just going to pin that all the way around. I'm going to make sure that the ends where the fly is are just overlapped. So I'll sew it like that. So you'll see when I fold that over now, I'll have a nice flat there and there. So now I'm going to take this to the machine and I'm going to stitch this outer edge. Now we have our waistband sewn on. So we're just going to flip it up and I'm going to press it, because now when we fold this back over, you'll see that once it's all pressed, this side, this edge here, and this edge here will be perfectly in line. So when we go to top stitch them, we're not going to miss any part. So let's get this ironed flat. The waistband is now done. You can see it gives a very professional looking finish inside and out. Looks good, huh? So now comes all the little decorating parts. What I have to do is hem the bottom. So I'm just going to overlock the edge and roll it up twice and then sew straight around there. Then I'm going to put in a buttonhole. I've made my belt loops. Let's see. Got my belt loops. Now you can probably see too, even though I washed this fabric earlier, I washed and dried it, it's still leaking colour. So my hands and everything are blue. The table's blue, my hands are blue. So I'll have to run them through with a Colour Fast in the wash again, just to make sure that the colour doesn't leak anyway. So the other thing I'm going to do is obviously attach these belt loops. I've got 5 of them that need to be attached. And then I've got my jeans button and my rivets, so I'll put them in as well. And here they are, they're finished. I'm really happy with them. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and like this page and hit the little bell so you'll be notified every time a new video is released.